The Song of the Forgotten Valley. A character is in a zone of comfort. In a quiet, dust-kissed valley nestled between two desolate hills, lived a young woman named Zilpah. The valley was called Bezek, a forgotten land where no kings rode and no prophets spoke. Zilpah, the daughter of a farmer, knew only silence and survival. Her people had long resigned themselves to oppression from a cruel warlord named Hadron, who controlled the trade routes, taxed every harvest, and ruled with fear.
I was just a daughter in a valley, dust on my skin, fear in the field, but heaven kept the song of Deborah.
But Zilpah found solace in her late mother's psalter, a worn scroll of praises and war songs from the ancient days. Her favorite was the Song of Deborah, written in the old tongue, etched with feminine courage and divine fire.
I felt the fire in ancient lines. Not a prophet, not a warrior.
But they want something. Zilpah wanted freedom, not just for herself but for her village. She had grown weary of watching the strong be broken and the young learn fear. The memory of Deborah and Barak, of Yael who drove a nail through the oppressor, burned inside her. The songs her mother sang weren't just history. They were prophecy waiting to awaken.
His word, we won the fight. When I rose to sing, the stars obeyed. Heaven moved and fear
3. Enter an unfamiliar situation. One dusk, as soldiers seized yet another cart of barley, Zilpah stood in the center of the road, hands raised, voice shaking. "This is not your harvest." The soldiers mocked, but she sang.
My father wept beneath the stone, but I kept singing.
Not words of rebellion, but Deborah's ancient song. Praise ye the Lord for the avenging of Israel, when the people willingly offered themselves. The village froze. The soldiers did not strike. Her voice, though untrained, carried something older than defiance. It carried truth.
I wasn't the sword, I wasn't the crown, but God took my voice and He shook the ground. When I rose to sing, the silence broke, chains fell down.
4. Adapt and struggle. Zilpah became the voice of a growing resistance. Not with weapons, but with words. She would recite Deborah's song under the moon, in secret gatherings. Each verse lit a fire in hearts long cold. Tribes of nearby hamlets began to whisper her name. But Hadron heard it too. He sent men to silence her. Her father was beaten, her younger brother taken as a hostage.
And the land had rest for 40 years in peace.
Fear returned to Bezek, heavier than before. Zilpah fled to the hills, hiding in the very caves where once Israelites escaped Amalekites. There, among the wild vines and jagged stones, she cried out, not in anger, but in a whisper. "Lord, was Deborah not just a memory? Can women still rise? Can you still deliver?" 5. Find what they wanted. One night, as rain soaked the valley, an old woman appeared by her cave. Blind in one eye, clutching a shepherd's crook, she introduced herself as Marisha. "I remember the last war song," she said. "And I remember the melody." Marisha taught Zilpah how to weave Deborah's words into new lines.
The stars aligned with sacred form.
Songs not only of the past, but of now. She taught her how to speak in rhythm that moved even the earth. And one morning, when the clouds broke, Zilpah stood atop a hill and sang. The stars in their courses fought against Sisera. Shall they not rise again against tyranny?
I heard the echo through the barley. I felt the fire in ancient
6. Pay the price. Zilpah was captured, chained and paraded through Hadron's court. He ordered her execution, but before the sentence, he asked, "Why do you sing what you cannot fight?" Zilpah, bloodied and trembling, replied, "Because when I sing, the Lord remembers. And when He remembers, kings fall." Her song spread like wildfire. Prison guards wept in silence.
Not by sword, not by might, but by His word we won the fight.
Women in Hadron's kitchens hummed her words while baking bread. A young scribe carved her verses into clay and hid them in wine jars. And then came the unexpected. A coalition of forgotten tribes rose. Ephraimites, Benjamites, even stragglers from Reuben. Men and women who remembered the old stories.
But I kept singing in the shadows till the battle became home. Jill drove the nail, but
7.
I drove
Return
the
to comfort.
sword.
The war was short. The people were many, the Lord among them. Hadron fell not by Zilpah's hand, but by the will of those who had once feared. When she returned to Bezek, it was not in chains, but clothed in white linen, barefoot upon the harvest she had once surrendered. Her father wept. Her brother ran to her, free.
Not by sword, not by might, but by his word we won the fight. When I rose to sing, the stars obeyed. Heaven moved and fear gave
8. Having changed, Zilpah never called herself a prophetess. She never sat upon a throne. But her song became a second scroll beside the first. The Song of Zilpah, they called it. They chose silence, and the roads were empty. Until I, a daughter of the valley, sang again. Deborah once sang of Yael, the woman who crushed Sisera. But now the daughters of Bezek sang of Zilpah, who crushed despair. And the land had rest for 40 years. Closing reflection. Inspired by Judges chapter 5 verses 1 to 31, KJV. This tale reimagines the eternal truth. When God's people rise, even in their weakness, He moves with cosmic power. The voices of women, of the forgotten, of the unheard, have always been part of God's great redemptive song. The song of Deborah echoes still. So does Zilpah's, so can yours.